Hey Musties! So Monarch TV series co-creators Matt Fraction and Chris Black have been doing a lot of talking to the press following the end of season 1. And there's some really interesting stuff that came out about not just a potential season 2, but a potential season 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7? Well, kind of. Let's get excited, but let's be cautious and optimistic, okay? So let's be clear. Chris Black spoke to TV Line and stated that currently there is no confirmed season 2 as Apple TV has not yet ordered it. However, he does say that the show was doing very well, and so that he's very optimistic about a possible season 2 and more. Both creators also spoke to comicbook.com about their plans for future seasons. Chris Black commented on Toho's cooperation, saying they've been incredible collaborators, and that Toho's other Godzilla characters are available if needed. What? Okay, let's assume that means that there's no price tag involved with this. Like, each character is not sold separately and that they have an unlimited budget to buy all these characters. That is incredible. That is a Godzilla's fan dream come true. However, I think that just means, like, if they want to buy the characters, the offer's there on the table to use any of them. Now, the actual direct quote was that any of their creations, Toho's creations, I'm going to assume that this means specifically Godzilla characters, but they could be referring to other Toho properties. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see other non-Godzilla Toho characters and properties cross over, or do you want to keep this strictly kaiju? Now, specifically, Chris Black mentioned that he wants Hedorah, I guess, badly. So he just says that he thinks Hedorah is cool, but several times in this conversation, Hedorah comes up, or as comicbook.com calls it, Hedorah. Honestly, I think this would work. With Hedorah's multiple stages, throughout a whole season 2, he could evolve and change shapes and become a bigger threat, and it would just be really interesting to see a new modern-day take on Hedorah. And this kind of makes sense with the direction that the MonsterVerse is going in. If you look at stuff like Godzilla vs. Kong, pretty much everything except for the original 2014 film, all the movies have been very Showa era-like in their inspirations with just how over-the-top, silly, and action-packed it is. And to want monsters from the 70s, yeah, I can see why they would want that character. On the other hand, Matt Fraction, the other co-creator, he wants Jet Jaguar. Equally as bad. I'm a lot more skeptical about this, but this backs up my Showa era theory I just said right there. They once again want some more characters from the 70s. I'm not completely sold on the idea of Jet Jaguar. However, if I had to come up with an idea off the top of my head of how to make Jet Jaguar work in this, I would say bring back Pacific Rim, have Gypsy Danger, the main giant mech from that movie, have him cross through the rift and come into the MonsterVerse. Paint Gypsy Danger to look more like Jet Jaguar. However, I mean, it doesn't seem like Chris Black is completely sold on that, as in this article, they don't necessarily get into an argument, but they talk repeatedly about how Chris Black has rejected the idea of Jet Jaguar. Let me know in the comments if you want to see Jet Jaguar. Could he be reinvented like Singular Point, the Godzilla anime, recently did? What's your idea of how to introduce Jet Jaguar into this universe? But to wrap this up here really quick here, the two co-creators go on to, I'm assuming, joke about the future of the Monarch series, as they hint that for 6 more seasons, they are willing to fight over the idea of Jet Jaguar. Now, I think this is a light joke. It just didn't show up in the translation for the article that much, but I like the idea that these guys are dedicated to the future of the MonsterVerse and more Godzilla material. So yeah, as long as people keep, viewing the Godzilla Monarch series, and as long as people are paying for subscriptions to Apple TV and they stay afloat and they don't go out of business, I can truly see Monarch getting more than one more season. Now, will we actually get a total of 7 seasons, 6 more? I doubt it'll go on that long, but hey, as long as people keep showing interest and support, money talks. They did also say that they want to use characters that have not been in the movies yet. I don't think you necessarily need to shut down the characters we have yet. We've had in the Japanese series, how many different iterations of Mothra? There's still different forms of Mothra that can be used. Point is, you can even bring back Mechagodzilla. He's a robot. You can rebuild him to look completely different, sell new toys, completely revamp him. And you already have the rights to Mechagodzilla, so make the use out of him. He is super popular, and cramming Mechagodzilla into the end of Godzilla vs. Kong doesn't really quite do Mechagodzilla justice. But that was a lot to unpack. That's just what they've been talking about. I expect a lot more updates coming in the near future, or at least a lot more talk about it, as now that Season 1's wrapped up and they have not actually been given the green light for Season 2. They're going to want to keep stirring up energy and excitement for it to get Apple TV convinced to do more. Thanks for watching.